Hey, what's going on everyone? Matthew from therighttrader.com here. Today I'm going to be doing a comparison between Bitcoin and gold. You may have heard people compare the two before and sort of talk about the similarities that they share. And you know, they do have some similarities. They're also pretty different fundamentally. And you know, they both have their advantages and disadvantages, and I'll be comparing the two. I'll also let you know which one I think is better to invest in, I guess. And yeah, we're going to get right into it. So first of all, and by the way, I think it's a really good way to sort of see the value in Bitcoin by doing this comparison and just, yeah, sort of, it really shows the growth that can still be seen in the world of cryptocurrencies, I guess you could say. And you'll see that in a bit. But Bitcoin has sort of taken the standard and been the gold standard in cryptocurrencies. And then Litecoin has been called the silver of cryptocurrencies, you know, because these were sort of the beginning cryptocurrencies, and they sort of got that comparison to the actual metals because of their store of value aspects, I guess. And over here we can see that Bitcoin is currently at $68 billion market cap, okay? I'm going to round it up and just say 70 billion for this video to make things easy. And if we go over and do a quick Google search, the market cap of gold is about $7.07 trillion, okay? And I'm just going to round that up to 7 trillion for this video because I don't want to make things too complicated. But so that already gives you a good idea of how small Bitcoin is, right, compared to gold, okay? And obviously, I mean, gold has been around since forever, and there's a bunch of reasons why it's so high. So I'm not really trying to like downplay gold's status, if you will, but yeah, it is significantly smaller, the market cap of Bitcoin, than the market cap of gold, right? Which is normal, like I said, but you have to look at some of the advantages and disadvantages of both of them, okay? And if we think about it quickly, right? The advantages of Bitcoin and gold, you know, of course it used to be a currency, now not really, I guess not really anymore, more of a store of value. But just comparing sort of the certain things about the two, I would say that Bitcoin sort of edges out pretty significantly. You know, it's easily divisible, it's easily transferable. There's no quality issues. Like for example, gold has different qualities, like actual like the quality of the gold, it can be different. Bitcoins, they're all the same. And yeah, like I said, it's easily transportable. Bitcoin is. Gold a bit more difficult, pretty significantly actually. And yeah, Bitcoin is faster to transact with than gold, I guess you could say. And the list of advantages kind of goes on and on, right? If there's any advantages to gold per se, right, is it's maybe a little bit more widely accepted, if you want to look at it like that. Of course, gold is completely global, and Bitcoin more or less the same, right? Maybe not everywhere, depending on the exchanges, but it's more or less global. But I guess some people would say that gold also has some actual uses in like sort of technology. They use it for electricity and stuff like that. But the truth is that Bitcoin does have more advantages, at least as a currency, than gold. Okay, and I think a lot of people would talk about the stability and sort of the price as a way to compare the two, and I'll do the comparison right here, right? So you probably heard that gold is stable and stuff like that, and if we look at the price of gold, we can see that this goes back to 1974 over here. Let me zoom in on this. It's not really been, I mean, this isn't something that I would classify as stable, right? Because it's not like just bouncing up and down. It's definitely moving upwards. You know, it had some big highs and some dips, but I guess you could say what would be fair to describe this price action would be just to say that you know, it doesn't really lose its value, which is true, right? It's just been sort of constantly moving upward. It had a little bit of a flat period over here, and then it sort of took off, right? And this is actually pretty interesting because I think that this rise over here is sort of what's happening in Bitcoin right now, where it's sort of people that lose trust in the government who want a sort of a backup currency, backup store of value, and you know, at the time, of course, people went with gold, right? Now people are more so going with Bitcoin to do that, but so they both share that similarity in sort of they serve as a backup, right? As a protection, as a prevention against crashes, against government regulations, stuff like that. So yeah, that's sort of their strong commonality. But yeah, I mean, this is definitely nice to see that gold has been moving upwards, and you know, that's why people trust it, right? Is because it never really like crashed completely, or not, at least in the past couple decades. I don't know the exact history, but it's been a constantly rising store of value, right? And if we go over to Bitcoin, what's a little bit more worrisome, I guess you could say, is, by the way, I'm on Coinbase.com right now. They have a bit simple but clean graphs. And if you guys want to sign up there and purchase some cryptocurrencies, if you haven't yet, these guys are the best out there in my opinion. They have 10.6 million users. They're really legit. You guys can look them up. But I have a link in the description. If you use that link, you will get $10 free worth of Bitcoin with a purchase of $100 or more of cryptocurrencies. So yeah, going back to the beginning of Bitcoin, right, and its price action, what's a little bit annoying to see is that, you know, it did have some pretty major, I mean, it did have a major crash, right? The 2013 crash is when all the cryptocurrencies pretty much just started tanking, and you know, it put them in a real slump here for a while, right? But you know, in Bitcoins and cryptocurrencies defense in general, you know, I mean, look at, that's pretty similar to what gold had over here, where it had this flat period, right, and then it kept rising. So that's pretty interesting to pay attention to as well. And I think this really plays in the favor of Bitcoin once again, right? Is even though, okay, it may be a little bit more volatile, it definitely is actually. I mean, just the price movements day to day can be huge, right? Several percents are super common, but it's also been consistently and continuously gaining value, right? And you know, it went up to $4,000. Right now it's above 4,000. It almost hit 5,000, and you know, it's like gold. It keeps going up as people see the true potential and store of value aspect in it as well. So I think you know, this really sort of is a big winning point for Bitcoin once again, right? Where gold may have you know, it has its use, it has its benefits. I guess if you want it to be maybe a bit safer, you could invest in gold, but Bitcoin seems to just be the upgraded version of gold in certain ways, at least as a store of value and as a currency. I think that's sort of undeniable at this point. And going back to the market cap, right? About more than 7 trillion for gold. Bitcoin 68 billion. I rounded that up to 70 billion before. And I made a pie chart, right, showing you the comparison between these two market caps. Okay, and Bitcoin is, I guess, less, but about 1%, right, of gold's market cap, right? So literally 99 times bigger. Gold is 99 times bigger worldwide than Bitcoin, and you know, I think that this can only be a positive for Bitcoin, right? Because it's so small, and you know, I'm not saying that gold is going to come crashing down, or that Bitcoin will like surpass or even reach the market cap of gold, because it's huge, right? $7 trillion, but it doesn't have to. That's the thing. It really doesn't have to. If we look and sort of raise this up a bit, right? And as people might move their holdings of gold into Bitcoin, and maybe just invest just monetarily invest in Bitcoin more, and it would start rising, right? For example, you guys can see, right, here we're not even at a quarter of gold's market cap, and we're already 12 times bigger. Okay, that's 1,200% increase. Okay, so you guys get the idea, right? Quarter would bring us about 25 times bigger, and you guys get the idea. But it really has the room to grow, right? I think that's undeniable, and it's not even it just shows that the sky's the limit for Bitcoin right now. As it is right now, the sky's the limit. There's still adoption that needs to come into play, and some things that need to fall into place regulation-wise, etc. But Bitcoin sort of just edges out in so many ways, in my opinion. And like I said, I guess if you were to invest in one or the other, I guess Bitcoin would just be the riskier play, of course, because it's not stood the test of time like gold, and it is volatile. It is sort of could be affected by regulations and stuff like that. So there's definitely like dangers to Bitcoin, right? But I guess you could say the same for gold, maybe a bit less. But Bitcoin is sort of the high risk, high reward play. But if you're really investing on a fundamental standpoint, right? I think that Bitcoin might have some really interesting and arguably better advantages to gold. I also wanted to mention a really important point that plays in favor to Bitcoin is that it's easy to invest in Bitcoin, the actual currency, I guess you could say, and then store value directly, right? And the problem with investing in gold is that it's not always easy to actually invest in the physical material of gold, right? Which is sort of the whole purpose, I guess, if you're using it as sort of a backup and a protection. It's super easy to invest in funds, but these funds might be invested in companies. A lot of the time they're just invested in miners and stuff like that, where you're actually sort of, you're exposed to benefiting from the rise of gold, if something bad happens to other currencies and stuff like that. But the problem is that you're not actually investing in the material itself, which basically means that, like if you're invested in a fund, the fund could go under, right? The companies in it could go under, and stuff like that. And you can also invest in funds that invest in the physical gold, but same thing. The problem is that you don't actually have access to that gold in any way, right? So the only time that you would actually be correctly investing in gold, if that makes sense, is if you actually purchase it physically, right, and have it on hand. So yeah, I thought I'd add that in there. So let me guys know what you think about sort of this comparison. What do you guys see as the advantages and the disadvantages to both? I'd be interested to hear if any of you guys think that that gold is definitely a better store of value, I guess, than Bitcoin. Let me know. And yeah, I appreciate you guys watching this video. I hope you guys were able to see sort of the potential growth in cryptocurrencies and specifically in Bitcoin. And yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to leave a like. Make sure to subscribe for more trading and investing videos in the stock market and in the world of cryptocurrencies. Thanks for watching, everyone.